This podcast is intended for mature audiences and is not considered appropriate for enjoyment in the workplace.
You can stop the search for something intellectual and fulfilling. You've tuned into the Diary of a Bald Man, and there is no going back. Let the moaning, groaning, and bitching begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Did you know? Your brain doesn't just respond to reality, it responds to what it believes is reality. Studies have shown perception alone can influence strength, memory, and even how your body ages. So the question becomes, what story are you telling it?
Hey everybody, welcome to Diary of a Bald Man. This is Alan Wolford, your host. So for all of our active listeners and subscribers from the various platforms, I want to thank you. In the past, I think week and a half, we've had numerous offers. Right now, we're totaling up to 9 of different, professionals, medical professionals, PhDs, and some others who have liked the way the show is shifted in order to help people instead of just being a reflective show. And we have had a great surge in people wanting to be a part of the Diary of a Bald Man podcast. So what we may be seeing here in the next couple of months is quite a few interviews. And, I'm grateful for everybody. I'm grateful to Spotify. I'm grateful to the podcast community for sharing the show to others and saying, hey, why don't you reach out or have your management team do so? And it's been a pleasure to see all this, reflective information and things we've been sharing. Especially liked was the show on learning to say no, setting boundaries for yourself. And for others, it was preparing and planning for the future, for our families, for ourselves, for our loved ones, so that we don't leave them holding the bag when we expire. So from the bottom of my heart, to our community, to everybody listening, thank you. And for those that are curious, you can go onto the Diary of a Bald Man website and click to be to be a guest, or just email me at diaryofaBaldman1968@gmail.com. Okay, so today's show, this is, something that just hit me this week. I was watching some documentaries and some historical information, but it's called The Lie We Tell Ourselves About Getting Old. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm 58 and I'm constantly getting older. But I've seen out in the field in construction, as many of you know, I'm a safety manager on construction sites. And when we're out in the field, you see a lot of the older tradesmen. And there are tradeswomen as well, but I'm just talking about, in recent experiences, I'm seeing more of the male side. And you're seeing less and less of those like 20 to 30 range on my sites, just because of the rampant numbers of the new generation going into information technology, communications of other sources. I think a lot of them are becoming like spokespersons for a variety of well-being centers, physical fitness centers, and things of that nature. But what I notice, I know when I was getting old as well, nobody sits you down and teaches you how to get old. But somehow, we all learn it anyway. Not from doctors, not from science, but from watching other people give up. And if we're honest, we start copying it. Think about this for a moment. Have you ever walked through a mall or a shopping center or something and you see these gentlemen sitting to the side on benches waiting for their wives to get back? And a couple of them may have canes, a couple of them may just be reading their phone or newspaper. You don't see that much. But they're just sitting there. The wives are out shopping and collecting and doing. They're the new hunter-gatherers trying to find the discount. So then you look at them and you say, you know what, honey, you go and I'm going to sit with these guys. And we copy those actions. We'll let the wife do it. She knows what she wants. She knows her budget. She gets out there and she starts hunting and gathering. It's something else. So I've seen it on the job sites. I've seen it in the stores. And I've seen it in families. Hell, I've seen it in the mirror some mornings, right? Because you're looking and you're like, that can't be accurate. My skin used to be taut. It's kind of dried out now, and my ink therapist, Grace, is always saying, moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. You just can't seem to do it enough, and you get dehydrated. A guy hits a certain age, and suddenly he starts acting like he's already done. I've done it. Every other morning, I smack the alarm and go, come on, 5 more minutes. I really, really need that beauty rest. One of the things when we're thinking about it and we're looking, maybe at our superintendent or a PM or, something in our mirror, we're not injured. We're not broken. We're just pre-retired in our own heads. And that sounds a little bit strange. And when we get back, let's talk about an actual group of men, 20, 30 years older than I, and how they successfully reversed their mindset with Dr. Ellen Langer. And we'll be right back.
Did you know studies have found that people who hold negative beliefs about aging tend to live shorter lives than those who view aging as growth or experience? Not because they're unlucky, because they start behaving like decline is guaranteed. And over time, the body listens.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show, and if you are just joining, this is Alan Woodford, the host of The Diary of a Bald Man. So before the pause, I mentioned Dr. Ellen Langer. She was a psychologist, and she ran an experiment back in 1979. What she did was to take a group of older men, late 70s, early 80s, and instead of treating them like aging patients, she treated them like their younger selves. What they did was to recreate the past for when these gentlemen would have been like in their 50s, 60s. Old magazines, old music, and old conversation pieces from their youth. One group of these gentlemen talked about the past, and the other group lived like they were back in it. She gave direction to state, relive and communicate like you would back in the 50s. Back when these timepieces came out, back when this music was there. I mean, it was amazing, and these things that happened occurred each day, and this was going on for about a week. One of the things they noticed is as the days progress, these older gentlemen, 70s and 80s, were standing taller, they moved better, and they thought clearer. Some even looked younger to the outside observers who were monitoring these men because in their mindsets, they were reliving conversations and events that occurred in the 50s. Now, that sounds like something impossible, but it wasn't. It was the mindset and the atmosphere. Because remember, your environment is what's going to build you up or break you down. When you want to pump up, what kind of music do you listen to? When you want to calm down, what do you look at? Could it be a running brook for calmness? And when you go into your rooms at home or in your campers or wherever you're listening from, that is a reflection of you. It's the things you like, the things you see, the things you surround yourself. So that's a part of you. What they noticed, there was no new knees with these guys. Their arthritis, inflammation and stuff dropped down. There was no drugs. It was just a different story in their head that they reflected with one another. And that's when it hit me. Getting older is guaranteed. Acting old is a choice. So from a personal perspective, my late mother-in-law, Dorothy Lauderdale, before she passed, she was raising her great-grandson, and everybody loved it because where she had purpose in the everyday care of this little man, and it reminded her of the children, her son and daughters that she raised, the other grandkids that she helped care for. She had to lift this little man constantly, get him ready for school. So it kept her feeling when she was in her younger self. She was helping out her granddaughter who was having issues at the time, and it gave her purpose. Her mindset was not of the 70-year-old grandmother that she was, or great-grandmother. Excuse me, let me back that up. It was in her 30s and 40s when she was raising her kids. She still had arthritis. She still had little things like that, but it didn't break her down. Her constant movements, her constant responding to what the child needed, it brought back memories of when she was younger. She would know what would make most kids cough. She would know if he fell and stuff. Oh, pour water on it. Kiss it. Pat it. Make it better. It's amazing how it improved her life and her mindset. You know, there's days your back might hurt. Your knees may sound like, bubble wrap just, blowing out. But giving up, that part's optional. Granny did not give up. And the more she moved, the more her joints and everything relaxed and her muscle strength came back because she was in a diminishing, I'm going to say physiological, because she would sit and scroll and, take care of herself and not really have anything to look forward to until her son and the family would come over and visit, or the wife and I would go and visit. She was just surviving. But in her mindset, she was rooting down, into her chair and things like that. Nothing really to look forward to except maybe an occasional doctor's visit. So with that child and that mindset, the same thing that happened to these men, they returned to their younger selves emotionally, and they acted like it physically. By the end of that period, they were out playing touch football at 70 and 80 years old, because they surrounded themselves with others that had that positive mindset to relive, not remember, but relive their youthful times, and had each other to back each other up. By the time they left, according to the documents, the guys were not utilizing the canes as often. They were helping one another just stand up, walk around, and where they needed assistance to carry their bags previously, they picked it up and took it back to the bus themselves. The mindset changed the bodies changed the environment, and a whole new life begun. Now, as I said earlier, I've seen guys in their 60s, 50s, my age, out working 30-year-olds. And the only reason, and nothing against 30-year-olds, I'm not saying that, the mindset of the older guys, hey, I've got to make money to raise my family, help out with the grandkids, take these trips and things like that, where the younger ones are just starting and they're not looking at, I'm going to retire in 40 years. I just got to pay my bills, get some beer money, and just do my thing. But then I've seen guys in their 40s, just years below me, move like they've already cashed out. Same job, same environment, but different mindsets. If you ever notice, when someone retires and within months things change, it's because they slow down, they withdraw, and they stop being needed. Now, with my own family, it was very similar. But what helped with my dad, when mom finally retired, and then she started having the cardiac events and things like that, Dad would pick up. He should have been retired too, being in his 70s and such right now. But in his mindset, he's still caring for his younger wife. Now, with mom's dementia and things like that, Dad has to do more, remind her to take her medications, not to take them too many times, because sometimes she forgets, but it keeps him going. Where he was very active and doing yard work and traveling and doing things with her, he slowed down, but what keeps him going is getting mom up, feeding her, caring for her. And where he had changed, a little bit from not having to run out to work, having different hours of coming in late, he's got something that keeps him going. And you see it all the time. People retire, they travel for maybe a couple of weeks, then they start getting sedentary, then they start sitting on the benches in the stores, and then one day they're gone. Your environment and your mindset will make your life or improve it, and the body will follow that decision and fast. Did you know that people who hold negative beliefs about aging tend to live shorter lives than those who don't? If you panic all the time about, oh, I've gained a few extra pounds, things like that, that cortisol is just going to add more. It's not because they're unlucky. It's because they behave like it's already over instead of looking forward to the next day or the next. The lie we tell ourselves about getting old is this, that decline is automatic. As soon as I'm retired, as soon as the garden's over, I'm done. And resistance is pointless. So we stop resisting. We start shrinking before life ever makes us, right? Like the old guys that got put into the room with the Time Life magazines and the music from their past. And that environment created the conversations. Hey, do you remember this? Do you remember that? Oh, I was in the Army. And they bounced and reflected off one another. And with that positive mindset, hey, let's walk outside. Let's research this resort and this place and do that. But, with others, it sounds small at first. I'm too old for that. I can't bounce back anymore. And that's a young person thing. I'm hearing guys 40s and 50s doing that. Construction is hard on a body. Military is hard on a body. The mind can change it all. If you believe that you have nothing left, then you don't. If you believe you could take one more step, then you can. If you believe you could pick that grandbaby up and lift it over the head, you can. It may take you a few minutes if your muscle's down, but stop saying, I'm old. Stop with that. That's negative. Say, I'm out of practice. The fastest way to age is to have nothing that needs you. Mom needs dad. Bradley needed Granny. And so when you have something that needs you, you feel that constant, not adrenaline, but that stuff. Hey, I've got to be awake. I've got to be viable. I've got to be strong. I've got to travel. I've got to take care of this, take care of that, and you have a purpose. So, you're going to have rough days, and you don't want to wait and feel good to move. You move so you can feel good. You move so you do not get sedentary and blood clots and things of that nature. The moment you stop learning, you start aging faster than you should. Research, look up, listen, read about things that will help you go from one mindset into another. Whether it's a podcast, whether it's going with a group of friends to Hardee's like a group in Dandridge does every single morning. They are doing that wellness check on each other because they're all aged. A couple of them are widows. And so they're that positive group mindsetting in a place that they all enjoy. If your mind can convince your body to slow down, it might also convince it to keep going. Oh, my back hurts. Well, did it hurt before? Did you have days where it didn't hurt before? Stretch. Get up. Walk. Because sitting all day can cause issues. Nobody's escaping getting older. That part's already decided. But acting old, that's a choice you make every day. Or finally, just giving up. Did you know people often describe aging not by years, but by something harder to explain or harder to do? They'll say the light is gone in their eyes. There's no passion. There's no curiosity. That light isn't about age. It's about engagement, purpose, and whether someone still feels connected to what's in front of them. Research in psychology, including work by Dr. Ellen Langer, suggests that when people lose a sense of control, curiosity, or meaning, they don't just feel older, they begin to become older. So maybe the question isn't how old we are. Maybe it's when did we stop showing up like we're still alive? Because the light just doesn't go out. We turn it down. Thank you for listening. God bless you. And if you have any questions or want more additional information on Dr. Ellen and her research and to what she did with the older men, please feel free to Google it, look her up, get some books on aging, and slow it down. Remember, life goes fast. We want to go at the speed of dark and keep that life. Please feel free to reach out to me at diaryofaBaldman1968@gmail.com. Go to the website, however you want to get a hold. If you have something to share, if you'd like to be a guest, if you'd like show suggestions that you'd send me. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. God bless. Please like, share, or post your comments on your favorite platform on what we could do better or what you'd like more information on. Thank you. Hope you had a great Easter. Now get the fuck out of here and enjoy the rest of your day at your pace.
Alan Wooford has produced this podcast for entertainment purposes. Neither this nor any other podcast he produced constitute legal, medical, marital, sexual, or professional advice. The opinions and views presented by Alan are his own and do not reflect the views or opinions of employers, clients, family, Facebook groupies, promotional sponsors, or baby Jesus. Any health information shared or mentioned as an alternative does not create any patient-physician relationship or other professional relationship between the audience and the presenters. No person listening to any podcast from this rocket surgeon should act or refrain from acting based on the content of a podcast without first seeking appropriate professional advice and or counseling. Nor shall the information be used to substitute for professional advice and counseling. As stated earlier, this show is for entertainment purposes, not how to lead or change your life. Do what is best for you or what your spouse approves of. Alan Wooford and all guests of the show expressly disclaim all liability relating to any actions taken or not taken based on any and all contents of this site.